Image management strategy is looking good more important than being good? Let me ask you something before we even begin. Think of the last time you met someone for the first time. A new colleague, a stranger at a party, maybe a potential business partner. How long did it take you to form an opinion about them? 7 seconds. Research says 7 seconds. Before they said a single intelligent thing. Before you knew their qualifications, their values, their work ethic, you had already made a judgment. And here's the uncomfortable truth, so did they. About you. So today, we're going to talk about something that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Image management. And specifically, we're going to answer one of the most debated questions in personal and professional development. Is looking good more important than being good? And I promise you, by the end of this video, you're not going to have a simple yes or no answer. You're going to have something far more valuable. You're going to have a strategy. Let's start with a story. There were two doctors. Both graduated from the same medical school, same batch, same grades. Dr. A would show up to consultations in wrinkled clothes, speak in a monotone, barely make eye contact, and rush through appointments. Dr. B dressed impeccably, spoke clearly and warmly, listened patiently, and explained things in simple language. Now here's the twist: Dr. A was actually the more skilled diagnostician, technically superior, better at identifying complex conditions. But patients kept going back to Dr. B. Reviews praised Dr. B. Referrals multiplied for Dr. B. And Dr. A couldn't understand why. He kept thinking, I am the better doctor. Why isn't anyone recognizing that? This story is happening all around you. In offices, in businesses, in classrooms, in relationships. Competence alone is not enough. And that's not a sad truth, that's an actionable truth. That's the beginning of a strategy. Now before you think I am about to tell you to fake it, to become superficial, to just dress nicely and smile your way through life, stop. That's not what image management is. Image management is the intentional, strategic alignment of how you present yourself with who you actually are and what you want to achieve. Let me repeat that. Intentional, strategic, alignment. It's not about pretending. It's about making sure the outside accurately reflects the inside, and does so in a way that connects with the people around you. Think of it this way. You could be the most brilliant person in any room, but if your communication style, your appearance, your energy, and your presence don't signal that, nobody's going to wait around long enough to discover it. Image is the door. Character is the house. You need both. Now let's talk about why this matters more today than ever before. We live in a world of overwhelming options. Every industry is crowded. Every role has hundreds of applicants. Every business has competition. Every idea has 10 other people saying the same thing. In this kind of world, differentiation is survival. And one of the most powerful forms of differentiation is how you show up. When everything else is equal, when two candidates have similar skills, two businesses offer similar products, two people share similar values, image breaks the tie. Every single time. And in most cases, everything else is not even equal. Image creates a halo effect. When someone perceives you positively in one area, their brain automatically assumes you're competent in other areas too. This is scientifically documented. It's called the halo effect, and it was studied by psychologist Edward Thorndike over 100 years ago. But it's just as powerful today. When you dress well, people assume you're organized. When you speak confidently, people assume you're knowledgeable. When you carry yourself with calm certainty, people assume you're experienced. None of that is fair, but all of it is real. And once you understand it, you can use it. Let me break image management into 5 core dimensions. Because it's not just about how you dress, that's the most common misconception. The 5 dimensions are appearance, communication, behavior, digital presence, and reputation. Let's go through each one. Dimension 1, appearance. Yes, we have to talk about this. Not because beauty matters. Not because you need to conform to any standard. But because intentional appearance signals intentional thinking. When you walk into a room, your appearance tells a story before you open your mouth. The question is, are you the author of that story, or are you letting it be written randomly? You don't need expensive clothes. You don't need to follow fashion trends. What you need is this: clean, fit, appropriate, consistent. Clean means you take care of your things. Your clothes, your shoes, your hair, your skin. It signals self-respect. Fit means your clothes actually fit your body. Ill-fitting clothes, too baggy, too tight, too long, signal that you don't pay attention to details. And if you don't pay attention to details about yourself, why would anyone trust you with details that matter to them? Appropriate means you understand context. The way you dress for a creative brainstorming session is different from how you dress for a client presentation. Image, aware people read the room and dress for the outcome they want. Consistent means your appearance doesn't wildly fluctuate. Consistency signals reliability. People want to know what they're getting. And here's something important: your appearance should not distract from what you're saying. It should support it. If people are more focused on what you re-wearing than what you re-saying, something is off. Dimension 2, communication. This is where most people lose the game even if they VE1 at appearance. How you speak, how you write, how you listen, these are all part of your image. Let's start with speaking. Your tone, your pace, your vocabulary, these create an impression instantly. Speak too fast and you seem nervous. Speak too slowly and you seem unsure. Use too much jargon and you seem like you trying to show off. Use none and you seem unprepared. The goal is clarity with confidence. Say what you mean what you say. Eliminate filler words, the ams, the likes, the you knows. These don't just fill silence. They dilute your authority. And then there's listening. This is the most underrated communication skill. When you listen, truly listen, without planning your next sentence, people feel seen. And people who feel seen around you associate that feeling with you. You become someone they want to be around. Someone they trust. Then there's writing. In the digital age, your written communication is often the first impression you make. Emails, messages, captions, reports, all of these are your image. Grammar matters. Tone matters. Structure matters. An email full of typos, casual abbreviations, and no greeting says something about you that you might not intend. Take your written communication as seriously as your spoken communication. Dimension 3, behavior. This is the most powerful dimension, and it's the one that determines whether your image is real or just a performance. Your behavior, how you treat people when the stakes are low, how you respond when things go wrong, how you show up when no one important is watching, this is the foundation of your actual reputation. Image without aligned behavior is called manipulation, and it always catches up with you. But behavior that is genuinely admirable, consistently demonstrated, that builds something no marketing budget can buy. It builds trust. Trust is the currency of the modern world. Not money, not followers. Trust. Think about this. How do you behave when you running late? Do you communicate, apologize, make it right? Or do you make excuses? How do you handle criticism? Do you get defensive, or do you genuinely consider the feedback? How do you treat people who can do nothing for you? The waiter, the security guard, the intern. This is one of the most revealing tests of character. And people notice. The right people always notice. Behavioral image is built in small moments. Every small interaction is either a deposit or a withdrawal in your reputation account. Dimension 4, digital presence. This one is non-negotiable in 2025 and beyond. Google your own name right now. What do you find? What does your LinkedIn look like? What does your Instagram say about who you are? What do your comments and likes reveal about your values? Whether you intentionally built a digital presence or not, you have one. The question is whether it's working for you or against you. Your digital presence should tell a clear, consistent story. What do you stand for? What are you working on? What kind of thinking do you do? You don't need to post every day. You don't need to be an influencer, but you do need to be intentional. A LinkedIn profile with no photo, no summary, and a job title from 5 years ago is not neutral. It's a negative signal. It says, this person is either unaware of how the world works, or they don't care about how they perceive professionally. On the flip side, a well-maintained digital presence does something extraordinary. It works for you while you sleep. Recruiters find you. Collaborators reach out. Opportunities come to you instead of you chasing them. And here's the key to digital image, authenticity at scale. Post things that are true to who you are. Share ideas you actually believe in. Engage genuinely. Because people can feel the difference between manufactured content and real perspective. Dimension 5, reputation. Reputation is what happens when you not in the room. It's the sum total of all the other 4 dimensions over time. It's what people say about you to others. It's the story that travels without you. You cannot directly control your reputation, but you can influence it profoundly through everything we already discussed. Here's something most people get wrong. They think reputation is about managing what people say. It's not. It's about giving people something worth saying. Do great work. Show up consistently. Be someone people can count on, and then let that speak. But also, don't be passive about it. If there's a misperception about you in your professional circle, address it. If your reputation in one context doesn't match the person you grown into, take active steps to shift the narrative. That's not manipulation. That's communication. Now let's come back to the central question. Is looking good more important than being good? The honest answer is, neither is enough on its own. Looking good without being good is a short game. It creates initial opportunities, but fails to sustain them. People discover the gap eventually. And when they do, the trust collapse is severe. Think of every public figure you seen rise on charisma alone, only to fall spectacularly when substance failed to show up. Being good without looking good is also a short game, just a slower and quieter one. You become the best kept secret in your field. Talented, overlooked, quietly frustrated. Your impact stays small not because of your ability, but because of your presentation. The long game, the winning game, is when being good and looking good are aligned. When your image is an accurate, intentional, and compelling reflection of your actual value, that's when magic happens. Let me give you a framework to actually implement this. I call it the ALIGN method. A stands for audit. Start by honestly assessing your current image. Ask trusted people how they perceive you. Read your own digital profiles with fresh eyes. Notice how people respond to you in meetings, in conversations. Gather data without ego. L stands for lead with strength. Every person has a natural strength in image. Some people have an incredible voice. Some have a warm, disarming personality. Some have a sharp, authoritative presence. Identify yours and lead with it. Don't try to fix every weakness simultaneously. Amplify what's already working. I stands for identify the gap. Compare your current image with the image required for where you want to go. If you want to lead a team, does your current presence communicate leadership? If you want to attract premium clients, does your communication style reflect premium thinking? The gap between where you are and where you want to be is your roadmap. G stands for grow intentionally. Now close that gap. Invest in a wardrobe that serves your goals. Take a communication course. Read more, so you have more to say. Build habits that reflect the person you becoming. Growth should be intentional, not accidental. N stands for narrate your journey. Stop waiting for others to tell your story. You narrate it. Through your content, through your conversations, through the way you introduce yourself, through the problems you choose to be associated with, you get to shape the narrative. Use that power deliberately. There's one more thing I want to address, and it's the elephant in the room. Some of you are thinking, but isn't this all a bit fake? Isn't managing your image just manipulating how people see you? And I understand why you think that, but consider this. Every morning when you get dressed, you make choices. When you decide how to phrase something in an important email, you make choices. When you prepare for a big meeting instead of winging it, you make choices. These are all acts of image management. We've been doing it your whole life. The difference is whether you do it consciously or unconsciously, whether you do it well or poorly. Authenticity is not the absence of intention. Authenticity is intentional expression of your genuine self. The most authentic people you admire, the leaders, the creators, the speakers, the entrepreneurs, they are deeply intentional about how they show up. That intention doesn't make them fake. It makes them powerful. The question is never, should I manage my image? You already are. The question is, am I managing it well? Let me close with this. The world is full of brilliant people who stay invisible, and it's full of mediocre people who stay prominent. Neither outcome is inevitable. You have the ability to be genuinely good at what you do and genuinely compelling in how you present it. You can have substance and style. You can have depth and delivery. You can be real and remarkable. Image management, done right, is not about becoming someone you not. It's about becoming fully, intentionally, powerfully who you already are. Start with one dimension, just one. Maybe it's updating your LinkedIn. Maybe it's being more deliberate with how you dress for an important week. Maybe it's working on how you listen in conversations. One dimension, consistent effort, and then watch how the world begins to respond to you differently. Because here's the final truth of this whole conversation. People don't just respond to who you are. They respond to who they perceive you to be. Your job is to close that gap, not by becoming less real, but by becoming more visible. Go be seen.